Good morning, students. Today's topic of discussion is simple harmonic motion. This topic is related to the BSc first year. I am Dr. Panju Singh. Let us start with the topic of discussion, simple harmonic motion. In order to understand the simple harmonic motion, we need to understand two terms. The first one is called periodic motion. So, what is the periodic motion? The periodic motion is that motion which repeats itself after a regular interval of time. The examples of the periodic motions are Earth-Sun system. We know that the Earth revolves around the Sun and it repeats its period of revolution after 365 days. So this kind of motion can be considered as periodic motion because after every 365 days, this motion is repeated. The second example here is phases of the moon. In addition to the Earth's motion, we know that the moon revolves around the Sun and it repeats its motion after every 28 days. So different phases occur within these 28 days, but the motion is repeated after every 28 days. So the period of motion is 28 days and this motion is also considered as the periodic motion. The third example is Halley's Comet. The Halley's Comet is the comet which revolves around the Sun and it can be seen on the Earth after every 76 years. In the last years it was seen in 1910, then it was seen in 1986. So after a period of 76 years, this motion is also repeated and it is kept in the category of periodic motion. The last one example is a very familiar example. Every house has a wall clock or a watch. So we can see that the watch or clock has three hands. One is called hour hand, other is minute hand, the third one is second hand. So every hand of the watch repeats its motion after a regular interval of time. If I consider the motion of a second hand, then the second hand of the watch repeats its motion after every 60 seconds. If I consider the minute hand repeats its motion after every 60 minutes. So this motion is a very familiar example of the periodic motion. So now switch to the next term, that is called oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion is defined as the motion which repeats after regular interval of time but moves or oscillates around a mean position. So this is the difference between oscillatory as well as the periodic motion. The oscillatory motion is also repeating itself after regular interval of time, but it repeats its motion around a mean position within the bounded walls, fixed walls. We can take the examples to understand the oscillatory motion here. The first example is the load attached to the spring. You can see the diagram here. This is a kind of spring and this is a kind of mass attached to the spring. If I pull the mass downwards and release it due to the restoring force, this mass will move up and down due to the elasticity of the spring. So this kind of motion is around a certain, this line is considered to be the mean position. So this motion is repeating itself around the mean position. So this motion is considered as oscillatory motion. The second example we can take the pendulum of wall clock. Some of the wall clocks have the pendulum attached to it. So we can see that this is the thread or something that is attached to the bob of the pendulum. If I release the pendulum from the mean position, from this position and release, this pendulum will oscillate around this mean position and it repeats itself after a regular interval of time. So this motion is also oscillatory motion. This is the mean position and if I release from here to here is the period of its repetition. This motion is kept in the category of oscillatory motion. The third example we can take here is liquid contained in a U-tube. You can see here the U-shaped container in which some kind of liquid is filled. If this liquid is compressed from this side, it will move upward to this side, and if I release, then this liquid will move back and forth like this, giving the oscillatory motion around a mean position. So this is all about the oscillatory motion. So after understanding both of the definitions of periodic motion and oscillatory motion, we can say that the basic difference between the periodic motion as well as oscillatory motion is that the periodic motion repeats itself after a regular interval of time, but there is no condition for its motion to be repeated around a mean position. So in other words, we can say that every periodic motion is an oscillatory motion, but every oscillatory motion is not a periodic motion. So all the examples of oscillatory motions are also the examples of the periodic motion. So in order to understand these motions, in order to represent these motions mathematically, we have the periodic functions here. So the periodic function is any function that repeats itself after a regular interval of its argument. Mathematically, we can write the periodic function like that: f of function of theta, theta is the argument, plus capital T is the time period, is equal to f of theta. It means to say that after the interval of time period, the function repeats itself. We can take the examples of the periodic function here. The very much familiar example with us is the sinusoidal function, such as the sine wave. We have the sine theta. We know that the sine function repeats itself after the interval of 2 pi. So here the t is 2 pi. So according to this formula, if I put the value of t from 2 pi in this formula, then sine function repeats itself after the interval of 2 pi. It again comes out to be sine theta. Similar is the case of cos of the theta. It also has the time period of 2 pi. So the cos theta plus 2 pi will again give me the cos of the function. So both of the sine and cosine functions are the best examples of the periodic functions, and these sine wave and cos waves are represented diagrammatically, graphically like this. We know that the sine 0 is 0. So if in the graph this point is considered to be 0, then the sine function sine 0 is 0, and by applying the different values of theta, the sine function moves like this. In this category we have taken t, but in case of theta we can take the values of theta here. Similar is the case of cos function. The cos 0 is pi maximum, pi by 2 maximum value. So at 0, cos is at maximum value and it repeats itself after the regular interval of time. This is the one period for cos function, and this is the one period for the sine function. So here the theta is a dimensionless quantity. Now if the argument theta is represented by some quantity which has some dimensions, then the sine or cos functions can be written like this: sine of 2 pi t by capital T. Now if this function is to be repeated after a regular interval of its time period, we can write like this. We can replace t by t plus t, where t is 2 pi, then sine of 2 pi by t plus t comes out to be sine of 2 pi t by t plus 2 pi. So again sine function repeats itself after 2 pi. So the function is repeated after the regular interval of time. So let us switch to our fourth definition, that is called the harmonic functions. So the harmonic functions are those functions which repeat themselves after a regular interval of time. This is the best example of the harmonic function: sine theta, cos theta. But every function is not a harmonic function. The harmonic function has the main condition that it should represent the sinusoidal wave. Now let us consider this function. This function repeats itself after regular interval of time, but this is not the sine wave, so this function cannot be considered as the harmonic function. Similar is the case of this sawtooth wave. This wave repeats itself after a regular interval of time, but it is not the sinusoidal in function, so this cannot be considered as the harmonic function. So these are all the basics about the simple harmonic motion. Now we will switch towards the equation for the simple harmonic motion and its solutions. So now consider the proper definition of the simple harmonic motion, and we will derive the mathematical equation for the simple harmonic motion also. So in case of simple harmonic motion, the simple harmonic motion is defined as the motion which repeats itself after a regular interval of time and moves around a mean position by giving a to and fro motion. The third condition is that the force, restoring force, acts on the simple harmonic motion, which is always directed towards the mean position. So the restoring force, let us take an example here. We can take the example of a mass attached to a spring. Let us consider that this position is unstressed form. If I pull the mass towards this position, so the mass is moved from mean position towards this position. The spring is stressed to this much distance. So when the mass is pulled towards this position, the restoring force acts on the spring. When the mass is left, the mass moves around the mean position due to inertia, giving the simple harmonic motion. So every time the force is directly proportional to the displacement and directed towards the mean position. So here if I give the constant of proportionality, then it has the negative sign. The negative sign represents that the force is directed towards the mean position. So this is the K is the constant of proportionality. From the Newton's second law, we have F is equal to dp by dt, rate of change of momentum, and if the mass is considered to be the constant, it can be written like that: m into a, where a is the acceleration obviously. So if I give this equation number 1 and this equation number 2, equating both of these equations, we get ma is equal to minus kx, or a is equal to minus k by m into x. Now in this case, the k is already a constant. For a given system, the mass is also a constant. So this implies that acceleration of the simple harmonic motion is also directly proportional to the displacement. This x is the displacement from the mean position. So let us discuss the differential equation for the simple harmonic motion. We have the differential equation for simple harmonic motion. From equation number 2, the equation number 2 can also be written as, since acceleration is the double rate of change of position, we can write m into d square x upon dt square. F is equal to md square x by dt square as a force. If I equate this equation with equation number 1, write equation number 3, equating equation number 3 and 1, we get m d square x by dt square is equal to minus kx, or d square x upon dt square is equal to minus k by m into x, or we can write like this: d square x upon dt square plus k by m into x is equal to 0. Let us say k by m is equal to omega square. Here omega is the angular frequency. The dimensions of the omega square comes out to be the angular frequency here. So if I put the omega square instead of k by m, the differential equation comes out to be d square x by dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. So this is the differential equation for the simple harmonic motion. Let it be the equation number 4. Now we need to find out the solution for this differential equation. The solution should be such that it should completely satisfy the differential equation. Let us say the solution is of the type x is equal to a cos of omega t plus theta naught. We can put the value of x in the equation. Let us see whether it satisfies it or not. If I differentiate the equation with respect to t, dx by dt, then with a negative sign, omega comes here, sine omega t plus theta naught. Again, differentiating with respect to t, we have d square x upon dt square is equal to minus a omega square cos of omega t plus theta naught, or d square x upon dt square is equal to minus omega square into a cos of omega t plus theta naught. Now you can see that the value of x is here. We can put the value of x instead of this quantity. So we got d square x upon dt square equal to minus omega square into x, or we have d square x upon dt square plus omega square x equal to 0. Let it be equation number 5. Let it be equation number 6. Now, if I compare the equation number 4 and equation number 6, so both of the equations are exactly same. It is clear that the equation number 5 completely satisfies the equation number 4, so it is definitely the solution of this equation number 4. Similarly, we can find the solution for equation x is equal to a sine omega t plus theta naught. By repeating all the number of steps, we will get the same value of differential equation. So in the conclusion, we can say that both of the equation number 5 and 7 are considered to be the solutions of the differential equation for simple harmonic motion. Now we have to keep this equation in mind. We will use this equation in further steps. So this is up to here. We have found the differential equation for the simple harmonic motion and the solution for the simple harmonic motion. Now we will discuss the different terms of the equation number 5 or equation number 7. I can write the value of k by n equal to omega square here. So if I plot a graph of equation number 7, we will get the graph like this. We have already discussed the graph. So now let us define the important terms related to the simple harmonic motion. So from the equation number 7, the value or equation for the displacement is written here. We will discuss every portion one by one from this equation. The first one is x. This x is called the displacement. Displacement is the distance from the mean position of the simple harmonic motion. Now in this particular case, in case of the pendulum or in case of the mass attached to the spring, the displacement has the dimensions of the length. But it is not every time it is not necessary that the dimensions of the displacement are always the distance. We can take the example that in case of electromagnetic waves, the displacement is in the form of electric or magnetic fields, or in case of sound waves, we have the displacement in terms of pressure. So this equation is the displacement. This is the distance of the motion from the mean position. So this curve represents the displacement. So now we can see that towards the y-axis, the displacement moves up to a maximum position point here, and similarly in the negative axis it moves towards the maximum position towards here. So we can write this position as plus a, this as minus a. So these maximum positions on either side of the motion are called amplitude. So the maximum displacement on either side of the motion is called the amplitude of the wave. In this equation, the amplitude is represented by this capital letter A. The next point, we have the oscillation or cycle. So now we know that the motion goes as to and fro oscillatory motion. So one complete cycle of to and fro motion is called the oscillation or cycle. So here, from this position to this position, the cycle is repeated. So this portion is called the oscillation or cycle. The fourth point is the time period, which is represented by capital T. Time period is the time after which this cycle is repeated. If capital T is the time period, so after every capital T time, this cycle will be repeated again and again like this. This is the first cycle, second cycle, third cycle, and the motion goes like this. So this is the time period represented by capital T. The next point comes here is the frequency. Frequency is the number of cycles per unit time. If I take the frequency as mu, then mu will be equal to 1 by T. So number of cycles taken in a unit time in a second is called the frequency. Similarly, we have the angular frequency. The relation between frequency and angular frequency is nu. So the frequency in terms of angles is called angular frequency. So if I multiply the nu by 2 pi, then I will get the value of angular frequency. The next important point comes out to be phase. Phase is the state of motion as regard to its displacement as well as the position. So the phase here, this whole term omega t plus theta naught is called the phase of the simple harmonic motion. In this case, this theta naught is called the epoch or the initial phase. Initial phase means the motion at the time t is equal to 0 is called the epoch or the initial phase. So all the terms are explained well from this equation. So now we know that k by m is equal to omega square, and we have the relation between time period and frequency is time period t is equal to 2 pi by omega. From this relation we can find out the value of omega as under root k by m. For simple harmonic motion, we have the value of time period at under root m by k. So this is all about the simple harmonic motion, its differential equation, its solution, as well as the different terms explains related to the simple harmonic motion and its equation. So for now we are all finished with the simple harmonic motion. Thank you. We will come with the next topic. Thank you.